So a very good afternoon, everybody. I hope all of you can see and hear me clearly. Before we begin the session, can we do a quick round of checking, as in if the video and the audio is fine? If it is fine, we will continue. In 99% case, I'm sure that it should be basically fine, right? So very good afternoon to all of you. And I hope all of you know about me already. You have been attending many of my sessions on YouTube and on the gradeup app also. My name is Sanozam Singh, and I have been taking classes for people like you for the past around 17, 18 years. I started teaching people like you in 2003, right after I finished my master's. Today, we will look at some important questions as far as Maharashtra CET is concerned, right? We will not be able to look at all the types of questions. We will pick some types and we will mostly focus on approaching them correctly so that we can be sure about, our confidence. We can be sure about our accuracy in those questions. Before we begin the questions, let me quickly give you a quick schedule of the YouTube what they call channel of gradeup. You can see that classes are every week of the day. Classes are throughout the day, so you will definitely have a lot of information coming your way in terms of preparing for CAT and other EMP entrance exams. So very good afternoon to all of you. Nikita, Abhilash, so two people, in fact, others are also joining in, I hope. So many people are joining in. So very good afternoon to all of you. Right. And there is just one more thing which I would like to remind all of you. On the 11th of July at 7:30 p.m. on the app, there will be a session taken by Anadi Chaturvedi. He is from IIM Rohtak, and you can see that he is somebody who has been there, done that already, who has already cracked the exam. So you can learn from him how to, how to crack the VARC section. So he will be sharing his tips. Right. And before I begin with anything else, I would like all of you to understand the basic structure of Maharashtra CET. This is something which is based on past years' pattern. This is basically the structure, right? If you look at it, this is the number of questions, right? And this is basically the marks awarded. All of us are very familiar with this structure as of now, right? So, one of you is asking me, Sanket, will this be helpful for Maharashtra CET? Yes, we are actually focusing on Maharashtra CET only, right? As you can see straight away, the table which I'm sharing with you is nothing else but the structure of Maharashtra CET paper. And I have written a very simple, a very apt kind of a description here. It's a speed game, nothing else, right? Number of questions, 200, and the time that is given is 150 minutes, right? So it's almost like CAT का double number of questions है. If you notice, CAT में कितने questions होते हैं? Around 100 के आसपास, right? In fact, it was shortened in CAT 2020, but what we know is that this is basically a speed game. 200 questions, and you will notice that there are 4 sections. Sectionals timing nahi hai, right? So one of you saying what should be the strategy for verbal. So that's exactly what we will try to discuss. In short, let me discuss some specific questions which we will pick up. See, first of all, when we say verbal ability, right, it comprises of basically RC, right? There are some questions which will take time. Time consuming questions are basically RC, and questions like parajumbles and questions like summary, right? All the other questions are easier, are on the easier side. They will be quick. You will take very little time to focus on, right? So what we know is that in Maharashtra CET there is no negative marking, so you should attempt as many as you can. In short, let's do one thing. We will keep it like a series of lectures which I will take on Sunday. Today, for example, I will focus on some questions, right? VNRC, some of the types of questions which should be definitely targeted, and I will take it up question by question, right? I hope everybody is getting this point. So in short, what we're looking at today is the types of questions in Maharashtra CET, VNRC which we should target, and what should be the approach or the strategy for solving those questions. The first type of question which I have picked up is basically match the column. We will show it, we will actually see it when we discuss it, right? Match the column is a kind of a question that is something which comes in the banking sector exams. So this is something which I hope everybody is very familiar with. The VARC section in Maharashtra CET, right, there are a lot of similarities between this paper and the banking sector questions. Match the column is a kind of a question which comes very commonly in banking sector exams. जब हम करेंगे तो we will be actually able to see it also. Right now, Shriti is saying how to attempt RC in less time. We will have a separate session on speed reading, right, probably next week. So as of now, let's focus on these type of questions. But beforehand, let me quickly tell you, right, when you attempt RCs, right, you will have to understand it this way. 50 questions, you will have maximum half an hour. Okay, so time consuming questions will be like RC and Parasamples and summary. So RC, there will be 2 passages. So you will have not more than 5 minutes each per passage, right? So that basically means you should read to understand, you should not memorize, and you should target the questions. Target kaise kare? I will do it in a session in next week, and we will see how it works, how we go about it. Today, let's focus on specific question types. Otherwise, in one class, in one session, if I take up everything, it will become a big, fiasco, will become a big khichdi. I hope all of you are getting this point, right? Okay, so what I'm focusing right now today is basically some questions which have been taken from Maharashtra CET. The first type is match the column, and it is something which is easily attemptable. You should do these questions quite fast, right? Okay, now Rishikesh, the cutoff of every college according to the cities of Maharashtra, that will be another session completely. It will be a detailed, what they call, list. So that we will share in some other session, right? Let's not worry about it right now, right? Okay, now everybody is clear with this. Match the column kya hota hai? I will show you, right? And what is the approach? Let me tell you one thing, you will have to eliminate the options. Matching the columns, if you do not eliminate the options, you will be thoroughly confused. And one thing that is very much required is knowledge of basic sentence structure. You need to know what is the clause, what is the subject, what is the phrase there, what is the object, right? What is the predicate? All these things you need to know. Let's do one thing. I will show you a question. Let's try it out. So this is the direction. Direction is basically, what does it say? There are 3 columns. In banking sector, they give you 2 columns. Here they give you 3 columns, and each of the columns will contain parts of sentences. You have to match the parts and form a complete sentence. And the complete sentence that is formed should be meaningful and grammatically correct. So that is what is important. Okay. So this is what the question will look like. This is column A, this is column 2, and this is column 3. You will have to match the sentences and form a meaningful sentence. This does not require any rocket science. You simply require to know the basic sentence structure, right? Isko try karke dekhte hain. For example, if you notice, the easiest way to proceed would be to use the answer options. If I do not use the answer options, you will have to match everything and it will be a big fiasco. For example, karke dekhte hain. Let's see. Option A says ADI. So, padh ke dekho, does ADI make sense? Right. On 19th October 2017, the astronomer Robert Wernick and AD is spotted an extraordinary splinter of rock just a few hundred meters across. AD, uske baad I. What is I? Where is I? Right. The I is tumbling through our inner solar system. So ADI makes sense. If ADI makes sense, you will have to basically, you can straight away eliminate this, right, and this. Now, what do you have to do? BFH is likely to be correct, right? Still, if you want, you can confirm, because there is something which is none of the above. None of the above to ho nahi sakta, right? So let's quickly try to confirm BFH, right? Or rather CEG. CEG confirm karke dekho. CEG, right? If you look at it, CEG is like this, Mr. Zuckerman's extreme sentiments, right? Extreme environmentalist, anti-immigration sentiments is motivated. Now, sentiments is CEG to ho hi nahi sakta. If you notice, the sentiments cannot be is motivated, grammatically incorrect. So the answer cannot be A, right? Now, you can confirm this by doing BFH. If you read BFH with her laptop in front of her, she is listening intently to a giant pair of headphones, right? Held upside down. So just to confirm, you can get the answer. So now, if you notice, I did this with speaking in a matter of probably less than a minute. So everybody understood this, right? Now, Pratik is saying how to choose options in match the column as some options look similar. देखो, similar है, फिर भी कैसे करना चाहिए. I hope all of you understood, right? What I did here was very simple. If you note this, right, ADI फर्स्ट ऑप्शन है, सो ADI से शुरू किया, ADI करेक्ट निकला, दैट मीन्स मैंने इसको एलिमिनेट कर दिया. अब AIB तो हो ही नहीं सकता ना, राइट, बिकॉज द आंसर शुड कंटेन ADI. नाउ देयर आर टू ऑप्शंस विच वेयर यू हैव ADI, एंड in both the options BFH is similar. That means BFH चेक करने की जरूरत नहीं है. चेक क्या करना है, CEG चेक किया, CEG turned out to be false. That means ये आंसर नहीं हो सकता. That means आंसर यही होगा. Just to confirm, I read BFH. Everybody understood this, including Pratik. Did you get the point? This is what I mean by elimination. And this is a type of question which comes very commonly, very frequently in banking sector exams. And as I was telling you, this is what we need to do to get the answer. Everybody got this point, I hope. Everybody understood this? Yes, right. Everybody understood? Shall we look at the next type of question? So let's do one thing. We will try more questions like this. And these are attemptable questions. Okay? All clear, everybody? Pratik, I hope you are clear. Okay, next question, I will give it to you. I'll give you some time, right? And I will ask you to solve it, probably a minute or so, right? So let's go about it, right? Okay, why not AID in option 2? Okay, option 2 में AID. देखो, one second. One of you is asking me ABL. Why not AID in option 2? देखो, एक simple चीज है. It's a matter of common sense, right? Right. AID कैसे हो सकता है, राइट? ADI जब सही ऑलरेडी है, सिंस आई स्टार्टेड फ्रॉम ऑप्शन ए, इज करेक्ट, राइट? ADI का जो सीक्वेंस है, इट इज वेरी डिफरेंट फ्रॉम AID. AID मीन्स आफ्टर A you will write I, right? So Robert Verick, inner solar system. Getting the point? ABL, I know that is not your name, but I hope you got the point. Okay, so this is what we have to look at. So if you do not eliminate options like this, it will be a big fiasco. It will take a lot of time. So eliminate options. What should you do? Option A से randomly pick करके शुरू करो. अगर AGD सही निकला तो you can eliminate and start seeing. ठीक है? Everybody is clear with this? Second question, I would expect you to try on your own. Let's see how we go about it. So take some time and let's proceed. I'll give you time, don't worry. Okay, everybody got the point? Yes, good that you understood. Let's see. Okay, so second question, I hope you are trying. इसको भी if you want, we can try it together. As I was telling you, options को eliminate करके चलो, right? Option को eliminate करके चलो, that is the easiest way. Now, first option says AGD. Does it make any sense? Speculation might well be the creative engine of science. Uske baad, if I write G, science honest, it does not make any sense. So AGD does not make any sense. So eliminate these two options. AGD does not make any sense. So now, in both the options left, you have AD. So read AD. Speculation might well be the creative engine of science, right? And after this, if I write D, but it's only when the flights of imagination followed up by intellectually. After D, now will you write H or G? After D, if you write, it is better to write G. Intellectually, honest and rigorous. So ADG is correct. Okay. Now, but then we'll have to also confirm whether BEG and CFI make sense. So democracy is a form of government based upon the fundamental assumption of equality of one individual and of their equal rights. So BE makes perfect sense. After this, of individual and of individuals and the equal rights of people. After this, of rights of people, honest right. If you write BE, G nahi BEH, right? Rights to life, liberty and pursuit of happiness. So rights to life, liberty and pursuit of happiness. So BEH also makes sense. So this is basically very clearly the answer. Okay, so the best answer is C. Everybody got the point. So many of you got it correct. So Shriti, Aman, Vivek, Nikita all got it correct. So this is what if you should be doing. Okay, all clear? Let's try another question. Let's see. Everybody got the point? So this is, as I was telling you, it's a speed game. So of course vocab questions are also there. With vocab questions and error spotting, we will take it up in another session that I will probably take next week. Very important here is that fill in these column match the column questions. They can sound confusing, but if I do not pick up the right approach, right, if I pick up the right approach, it is not as confusing as it looks like. So eliminate the options and see what should be the answer. Let's see. Right, everybody got the point, I hope. Third question, and if you notice, these are all taken from Maharashtra CET last year. This is like almost like a memory based paper, so memory based kind of a question. So next question is this. I hope everybody can understand. So 3, what should be the answer? So Piyush thinks it is E. E as in none of the above. Okay, let's see. Let's do and see, right? If you notice, okay, now in the options you have AF, right? AF, does it make sense? The atmosphere was electric, the exchanges witty, and thus the debates were all attended by professors and students alike. If I write F, uske baad can I write G? No, I cannot. So AFG is wrong. AFG is wrong, right? So what should I do? Right? AF cannot be written. That means the answer cannot be this. The answer cannot be 3. So I just have to confirm AGF and BHD, right? Everybody, if you notice, AFG is incorrect, right? AFI also, if you notice, after F, and thus the debates are well attended by professors and students alike, in AFI also does not make sense. So straight away I've eliminated this. After A and F, I cannot write G, I cannot write I. So I've eliminated 3 options. Now the only thing which I have to confirm is, does AGF make sense? Does AGF make sense? Let's see. AGF, the atmosphere was electric, the exchanges witty, and the arguments well thought out. Yes, right. If you notice the parallel structure, the exchanges witty, arguments well thought out and well honed, right? So AG, after that if I write F, and thus the debates were well attended by professors and students alike. So AGF makes perfect sense. Now I just have to confirm whether BHD makes sense or not. Otherwise it will have to be none of the above. Right. So BHD, does it make sense? Some former social media influencers, right, have turned against that platforms and chosen to highlight the dangers of curating a self-image with little purchase in reality. So BHD also makes sense. So the answer is C. Why will it be none of the above? Why will it be none of the above? The answer is BHD, right? So if you notice, there are 4 options, and of the 4 options, C is correct. So it cannot be none of the above. Everybody got this point, right? So many, I think Vishal, Pranjal, Vishal thought D. D में देखो AFG is very different from AGF. That is what I have been telling you right from the beginning onwards. That is, the order is very important. AGF is very different from AFG. Otherwise, if they had been the same, तो options अलग-अलग, जैसे AFG A में लिखा है, D में लिखा है, and C में ऐसे अलग-अलग नहीं लिखा होता. Everybody understood this point? So the best answer to this question is C. Everybody understood? Right. I think you are still probably either trying to do it extra fast or you are not reading it properly. दोनों में से कुछ है. That is why many of you are still getting it wrong. These questions are not at all difficult. Option से शुरू करो. ADG है. Does it make sense? If not, try ADH. Right. सबसे पहले AG, does it make sense or not, is what we have to look at. Right. Now, don't we have to try for third possibility? देखो, third possibility कैसे try करोगे? ABL is saying, don't we have to try third possibility? Try करोगे. जो यहाँ options दिया है, these are the only things which you need to check, right? Otherwise, there could be so many combinations, right? So you cannot say none of the above. Basically means none of the above options. So look for the options which are given. So if it is none of the above, it means none of the above options are correct, right? Above does not mean the sentences. ठीक है? Understood? ठीक है? Everybody is clear? Right. So look at the fourth question also. So some amount of understanding is required here. I hope everybody understood the point, right? Let's take the next question. Right, so everybody got the point. So ABL is saying you got the point. Yes, right. So none of the above is option mein. None of the above basically means none of the above options. It cannot be the above columns, because the columns, I mean, cannot be right or wrong. It is the combinations that are given to you in the answer options. Right, let's see. Try this question, and as I was telling you, you should actually think of beginning from the options. Begin from the options. Right. First option says ADG. Confirm करके देखो ADG if it makes sense or not. It will take you 20 seconds. If it makes sense, you'll have to confirm the remaining two. Eliminate करके चलो. Right. So that is what I was telling you. Right. Everybody is clear with this? Let's see. Right. इसको भी करके देखते हैं. The actress took her second shot ADG. Right. ADG. Okay. Makes perfect sense. Took her second shot after this for COVID, exactly a month after the first dose, and shared the update. So ADG is correct. So AGD nahi ho sakta, right? ADH, right? If you notice AD, after AD you cannot write H also, and after A can you write F? The actress took her second shot and saw the flowering of humanism. So you can eliminate 3 options. Now there is only one step that is preventing you from marking none of the above, right? If BEH does not make sense, you can very clearly say none of the above. So does a BEH make sense? BEH, what does it make sense? Karan, that lecture is till the time we complete the questions, right? Shuru hua nahi, and you are actually worrying about the ending, and you don't worry, right? So it will go on till we finish the questions. We have around 15 questions. Okay, so ADG is correct. BH confirm करके देखो. Detailed reports from the North Germany suggest that, right, in one city alone, some 10,000 people bought confiscated goods. So this is also perfectly fine, right? Confiscated goods from various auctions in the Nazi regime, right? So basically very perfectly fine. CFI, C, the Renaissance philosophy started in the mid 14th century. After this, if I write, right, and saw the flowering of humanism, perfect makes, and the rejection of scholasticism, and the renewal of interest in the ancients. So the best answer is A. All the 3 make sense. Okay, right. I hope everybody got the point. So proceed by answer options. So this was another question. Now I will look at one more question like this before taking up a type of question that came regularly, I mean, the last 2-3 years in Maharashtra CET. Right. Before that, let's quickly solve this question. This question, I would expect all of you to answer the question in a matter of a minute. Right. Your time starts now. So let's see. पीयूष को लग रहा है E as in none of the above. आपने चेक कर लिया? Very clearly, have you checked? None of the above. Check कर लिया? पीयूष is saying answer is E. Right. You just have to check. Eliminate. अगर देखो, there are 3 things or 2 things given in one option. You are given 2 or 3 combinations. Even if one is wrong, I mean, it cannot be correct. So eliminate the options. So Vipul and Karan are saying the answer is D. What about the others? Right. If you say that the answer is D, well, you are actually correct. So if you say that the answer is D, you are correct. Let's see. Nihilism over the course of time has been given. After A, I cannot write E. Right. As benefited. AE galat hai. Right. BE. Some people are lucky enough to look back at as many benefited. This is also wrong. So this cannot be the answer. AGF also does not make any sense. But ADG definitely makes sense. Nihilism over the course of time has been given. Right. Given given many meanings and has been interpreted in many different ways by philosophers throughout the country. So ADG makes perfect sense. The answer is D. Everybody got the point? Right, everybody got the point? Right. Okay. Piyush, I think you are speaking about the previous question. Previous question may, it was basically, right, first dose, right. So took her vaccine shot for COVID. So ADG, right. So for COVID basically vaccine shot for COVID, that was basically for the flu. Okay, for COVID actually. Right, everybody got the point? Right. Now, this was one type, and before I move on to the next question, let me quickly tell you that इसका प्रैक्टिस आपको बैंकिंग सेक्टर के क्वेश्चन से करने चाहिए, राइट? सो search for banking sector questions. The only thing is in banking sector you will see mostly 2 columns. In Maharashtra CET they are giving you 3 columns, so that is the only difference, right? So this is a new development that happened in Maharashtra CET in the last 1 or 2 years. We should be very careful. Another thing, next there's a type of question which I would like everybody to focus on, that is parajumbles. Right. One thing about parajumbles here is that the parajumble question is very different from MBA entrance exam. It is almost the same as the ones that are asked in banking sector exams. Right. So if I show you, right, how do they look like? They give you 1, 2, 3, right, and they give you 7 sentences, right? And then they ask you which is the first statement after rearrangement, which is the third statement after rearrangement, which is the 6th sentence. Now, this is typical of what happens in, right, first, third, 6th. This is typical of what happens in banking sector. If you start trying to answer the question like this, you will be completely lost. Okay? So, you should look at everything. So, the key first is to find out the sequence. This will take some time. Key is to first find out the sequence. The sequence could be anything. First, try to find the sequence. But before that, when you look at the sentences, you will notice one thing. This is going to be fill in the blanks. Attempt these first. Because without filling in the blanks, you will not be able to connect the sentences. And so, scan the questions. When you scan the questions, this can be done very easily. In statement D, a part of the sentence is highlighted. So, statement D has allowed the question, aisa kuch hai, right? So, statement D, if you notice, has allows the question is wrong, right? Has allowing a question is wrong, right? Has allowing the questions is also wrong. If it is correct, it can be only 11. The only thing that can be correct is D, but there can be no correction required also. So just go back to sentence D and find out allow wala jo statement hai wo kahan hai. Statement D is this. Okay. So has allowed the question. Okay. This combination of a profound and universal learning undercut by a total absence of evidence has allowed the question. So this is the part which is got to be replaced. Now, if you notice, what does it say? Right. Has allowed the question. Right. So has allowed the question of, okay. Now, by some, it is in fact the same, has allowed the question. So there's a slight printing mistake here. In any case, try to solve this question first. Okay. This question and fill in the blanks. For example, when we dash life elsewhere in the universe, we are doing that. So what do we do when we dash life? You require option B. Dekho question number, fill in the blanks kaha aa raha hai, right? So fill in the blanks, you will basically find it here. Speculate about, so it is going to be speculate about, present in, argued for, stringent among, supportive of, right? Now, what is the clue that we are looking for? Everybody just read it. When we dash life, here you require a verb. First of all, you require a verb. We is the subject, you require a verb. Okay, right. So, what should be the answer? If you look at it, the answer to question number, this second question B, right? When we, you require a verb. Okay, so fill in the blanks question is only here. Okay, when we, right? So when we, after we, right, you require a verb here. Okay, present in is not a verb. Argued for, if you notice, argued for does not make sense. If you look at the context, when we dash life, argued for life elsewhere, we are doing, okay, we are hai. Okay, that means it is also nothing else but something which is in the present tense. ठीक है. सो प्रेजेंट टेंस है तो आर्ग्यू भी नहीं होगा, सपोर्टिव ऑफ वर्ब नहीं है, स्ट्रिंजेंट अमंग ग्रामेटिकली रॉन्ग वर्ब है भी नहीं. सो द ओनली थिंग विच कैन फिट इन इज ए. Right. So if you notice, right, in this question, right, in this type of a question, as I was telling you, when we see parasamples, right, the first thing which we should actually do is first solve the fill in the blanks or the error spotting parts of the question, because they will be easy. Right. So fill in the blank, kya karna hai? Yes, everybody got the point. If you want, I will show it to you again. Here, when we dash life elsewhere in the universe, we are doing. So it's a present tense and we also require a verb. So present tense and also require a verb. तो क्या होगा? Present tense है and also will require a verb. So the answer to this will be right. Present ये नहीं होगा, argue नहीं होगा, past tense stringent verb नहीं है, supportive भी verb नहीं है. So the only answer is speculate about. You can do this in a matter of seconds. ठीक है. And if you notice, right, if you do not attempt it first, right, अगर मैं इसको पहले अटेम्प्ट नहीं करूंगा, यहां पे स्पेक्यूलेट about, right, only then will you be able to make sense of the sentence. Now the next thing that you need to do is read. There are 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 sentences. So first solve the error spotting and the or the fill in the blanks questions, right. Then only what you should do next, the next thing that you should actually do is basically first solve the fill in the blanks or error spotting parts of the question, right. It is not necessary to find the opening sentence first. What should be the approach? The best approach, this is something which I have, been telling people to a great extent in the banking sector also. First, you need to find the mandatory pair and try to build the other sentences around it. Right. So this is the only way, this is the best way to solve the question. Everybody understood this, I hope. Right. Now, would you like to try this question or do you want to move on to another type? I will wait for some time. Right. I hope everybody understood the focus, everybody understood the point. ठीक है. So इस क्वेश्चन का fill in the blank question का answer was A. Agreed. ठीक है. Now for the other questions you will have to solve it. So you will have to move from this slide to that slide and first find the sequence. Sequence के बाद you need to basically build the other sentences around it. This is going to be time consuming, so I will wait for your responses. Do you want to solve this question or is the approach enough? Do you want to solve the question? I will wait for your responses. Do you want to solve this question? Karna ho to I will wait, no problem. I'll give you enough time, right? And those of you who want to solve, you can start reading these questions, sentences. You will have to rearrange the sentences. Let's see. So yes, Shriti and Karan are saying you will try. Okay, try, no problem. Try करने के लिए क्या करना होगा? First, read the 3 sentences. And as I was telling you, fill in the blank अगर पहले नहीं करोगे, it will be very difficult to connect the sentences. So first read the sentences. Questions बाद में देखो. जो question पहले करना था क्या है? Fill in the blank, error spotting. These can be done very easily like that. ठीक है? So try that. So some people want to solve, some people would like to. So solve जिनको करना है करके देखो. Right, let's see. I hope everybody has read these 3 sentences. Right, so if you have read those sentences, I'll have to also show you the next. This will be for another minute. Look for ये for example these labors, ये किसके labor है? Beginning sentence यहाँ साफ साफ दिख रहा है. Right, so what should be the sequence? Right, if you notice, if you want, I can go from the sequence, I can go from this slide to the previous one. I will show you that, no problem. Everybody is reading it, I hope. Now, if you have read it, if you want, I will show you the first slide again. And if you notice, the first thing that you will notice is that the sentence F will begin. The sentence F will begin. What is F? F is the existence of extraterrestrial life is one of humanity's great driving questions, which started even before Socrates debated the plurality of worlds, especially among Greek philosophers. Now, F ke baad, nothing that would come after F in this sentence, right? If you notice, but even after more than 6 decades of hunting, right, search for extraterrestrials, we are alone as ever. So F and C make a perfect sense, right? It has been going on for a long time, but then even after searching for a long, we have not still found any answers, right? So F ke baad C. Okay, after F you will write C. After that we will write B. FCB. When we speculate life elsewhere in the universe, we are doing the most dangerous things of life from a scientific perspective, extrapolating from a single data point, that of human existence. So in fact it matches the tone given in C, so it should be FCB. Okay, should be FCB. Okay, now after B what should we write? Now if you notice, if you read D, this combination of a profound and universal yearning, where is this profound and yearning, right? This is this is something which I've already found, explained, right? Dekho, when we speculate about life elsewhere, this is the combination of this yearning. So when you yearn, undercut by a total absence of evidence. Earlier, when he says that you have not found any evidence, at the same time we try to look for life, so this is the answer. So far what have we come across? The answer that we have, the sequence that we have come across is FCBD, right? So FCBD is there. Now after this, right, after D, it has allowed the question of extraterrestrials to become a cosmic on which, so projecting our hopes and fears ka example is what you find in E. Okay, FCBDE. Now if you notice, the only other two options left are A and G. If you read very carefully, right, A will come after this because the labors, if you look at G, these labors of imagination is what you actually find in A. Even during the Cold War, millions lived, right? So the theory that extraterrestrial civilization initially wiped out emerged as an explanation of our apparent cosmic solitude. So this is something which you will find. So the correct sequence is F, C, B, D, E, G. Now if you notice, this is not at all easy. It is quite tricky. Okay, it is not at all easy. It is quite tricky. The sequence is this. Right. Now, FCBDEAG is a sequence. So, Karan Pawar, correct. So, the answer is FCBDEAG. Now, you can answer the questions very easily. First statement, F. So, what you have to be careful about is F ka matlab option F nahi hai. It will have to be this. So, what was the sequence? FCBDEAG. FCEABDEAG. It can be very easily answered. Next kya hai? FCBDEAG is the sequence. Third sentence kya hai? B. So this is the answer. Now, once you are through with the initial, initial trouble, right? It becomes very easy now. FCBDEAG. इसका आंसर क्या होगा? Sixth statement FCBDE. So FCBDA. The answer will have to be this. ठीक है. Now एक ही जगह है जहां पे if you notice, this is one question, so FCBDEAG is the answer. Now there is one question which I would like everybody to be very careful of. This is a question which is new. It is never there in any of the questions. So what is the correct sequence? FCBDEAG, right? And as they are given, it is given in this order: A, B, C, D, E, right? DEAG, right? So now the question that is asked is which of the following sentences remain unchanged even after rearrangement. Now if you look at it, F was not first, so F cannot be the answer. C was the third, so this cannot be also, right? I hope everybody okay, how Vipul is saying how much time should we take for such questions? If you notice, such questions will contain around 6 questions, right? So if you spend around 2-3 minutes, there's nothing wrong. 2-3 minutes in resolving it. देखो, पहले के 1.5 मिनट्स में समझ में आ जाएगा मुझसे होगा कि नहीं होगा. बट देन आउट ऑफ दो 6 क्वेश्चंस फिल इन द ब्लैंक और ग्रामर वाला क्वेश्चन तो अटेम्प्ट करना ही चाहिए. ठीक है. उसके बाद think of investing 2 or 3 minutes. पहले के 1.5 minute में you will very easily understand whether you will be able to solve it or not. But if you invest 2 minutes, you will be able to unravel all the answers. Right. Now, यहाँ पे one important thing is this question. This question is something which is very, confusing, right? So, which of the following the position remains unchanged even after rearrangement? F नहीं है, F change हो गया, C भी change हो गया, B भी change हो गया, D does not change because D is in the fourth, right? यहाँ fourth में है, पहले भी fourth में ही था. E also has not changed. G is the last, right? It was also the last. That basically means D, E and G have basically not changed. ठीक है, so the answer is D. Now, let me give you a variation to this question. In this variation, they can, even in banking exams, they have asked questions like, how many sentences remain unchanged in their position after rearrangement? So what will be the answer to this question? Right. Let's say the position of how many sentences remain unchanged. They ask you like this. So the options given are like 2, 3, 4 or 5. So how many sentences have remained unchanged? Tell me. The correct sequence is this F, C, B, D, E, A, G, right? So if you notice, right, A has also changed, right? So how many sentences are there, the positions of which have not changed? I'm waiting for your answers. Everybody. There are just 3. So Rishikesh, you're correct. So they can ask you a question like this. So in short, these questions you will have to be very careful. And if you want, try these from SBI PO के past papers. You will find that. Okay. Some variations they will introduce, but look for bank PO banking sector questions for Parasamples. Okay. Right. Now, do you want to, shall we end it here, or there are 3 more questions, 13, 14 and 15, right? These are basically the summary of the passage, right? Now, summary of the passage, if you notice, iske liye aap, I will quickly tell you, in fact, rather than, solve bhi kar sakte hai, that is your choice. But before solving it, let me tell you, iske practice kahan se karne hai. You can very easily practice for this from CAT. Look for all the CAT papers. CAT 2003-4 में मिलेगा, right? 5 में नहीं, 2003-4 में very easily you will find, right? And CAT 17 onwards you will see the summary, you will see the you will be able to find the passages, the questions directly online, so you can practice from there. ठीक है? So shall we end it here, or do you want to continue solving the question? My aim here is very simple, right? In Maharashtra CET, there are some questions which have come very similar to the ones which come in banking sector exams. One was match the column, right? We will pick up other questions like this in the next sessions also. But important thing here is even Parajumble is very similar, right? So you should basically break the mindset of MBA entrance exams. CAT का इससे बहुत अलग focus है. CAT is very different from this. ठीक है? You want to continue? So if you want to continue, well, you can give it a shot. So what is the summary of the passage? So this is, if you notice, let's try 2 questions, right? Okay, 1 second. Last question का तो answer ही दिया हुआ है. So let's start from 14 and see. ठीक है? So be very careful. Read the sentence, and when you look for the summary of the passage, you will have to eliminate the options very clearly, right? Okay. Karan, source for these kind of questions, कौन से questions? Parajumbles, banking sector. Parajumble banking sector से जाओ. As I was telling you, banking sector में से there are 3 types of questions which you will have to be very careful about. One is Parajumbles, ठीक है? दूसरा match the column, ठीक है? I will tell you the questions, right? Match the columns, right? तीसरा there is sentence connector, ये भी होता है, right? ये भी I will take it up in the next session, next Sunday, right? Then there is something called word exchange also, right? These are questions which come from bank PO, ठीक है? BPO basically means bank PO exams, right? and what they come, I mean, बैंक पीओ एग्जाम में जो पूछे जाते हैं, they're very similar to the ones which have come in Maharashtra CET. ठीक है, right? Okay. Let's see. One of you saying take session on Saturday also or daily if possible. Let's see whether we can increase this or not, right? So depends on the demand, right? Depends on how much people require it. If you require it, it can be definitely taken. So if you do you require inference fact judgment? Inference fact judgment जो है वो CAT में पूछा गया था 2006 में. It was asked in ZAT also. महाराष्ट्र CET में चांसेस थोड़ा सा कम है. ठीक है, राइट? एवरीबडी इज क्लियर, राइट? सो लुक फॉर बैंक पीओ क्वेश्चंस. क्या किस टाइप के क्वेश्चन देखना है? बैंक पीओ के पैराजम्पल्स. ठीक है, बैंक पीओ मैच द कॉलम, बैंक पीओ के सेंटेंस कनेक्टर एंड बैंक पीओ के वर्ड एक्सचेंज. And by the way, everybody, right, some of you are saying that these sessions you require it every day or Saturdays. If this is the case, just write in the comment sections that you require such sessions every day, right? The demand is not much there because so that is why we are thinking of not giving it every day. If you require such sessions, keep it, write in the comment sections that you require these regularly. Okay, right? Okay, everybody is clear what I was telling you. So the kind of questions which we need to look at, banking PO क्या questions है? Match the column, right? Sentence connector, word exchange and parasamples. ये 4 banking sector के questions में से उठा के करनी चाहिए. ठीक है, all clear everybody? I hope everybody is trying this question. We will try 2 questions and we will end it here. ठीक है. So Vipul and everybody, अगर sessions required है on Maharashtra CET practice, right? Just type in the comment section that you require regular sessions for Maharashtra CET, right? So type it there, right? Otherwise, okay. And Karan is saying we want you to teach every day. इसका demand जो है just type in the comment section that you require my sessions, right, every day. Otherwise, it will not be, it will not be. Otherwise it will not be scheduled. ठीक है. So if you require it, just keep it there. Just take it. Just write in the comment section that you require regular classes from me in these in Maharashtra CET. Let's see. Okay, everybody has read it, I hope. ये क्वेश्चन सबने पढ़ लिया. So he's telling you about the rate of inflation and he's giving you examples of kindergarten schooling का क्या होगा, real estate का क्या, what has happened. Schools require a good chunk of land. The land prices have outstripped inflation substantially. So he's explaining, right here, he is explaining schools इतना costly कैसे हो गया. Right. So if you notice, he seems to be in this passage, right? So what should be the right? So what is the author doing, right? Everybody has read it, I hope, right? So question तो ये तो करते रहेंगे, but it's good that you are making your verbal sessions for Maharashtra CET. You require it, so you have made it clear. So that is good. Let's see. Okay. Right. Everybody has read it. On the other, if you read it carefully, right, this is something which is not at all difficult. I hope everybody will be able to make sense, right? Here, the author seems to be explaining why inflation में especially education का जो price है इतना क्यों बढ़ा. schooling करने का जो cost था पहले 3,000 per year था, now it is 23,000 per year. He seems to be explaining इतना rise क्यों हुआ है, because everything else has risen. Land prices ज़्यादा हो गया, library infrastructure की price ज़्यादा हो गया, iPad ये सब required है, and also teacher salaries have also included. So he seems to be explaining why we require so much, we require to spend so much of so much of money to pay for school fees. So what should be the best answer? Choose. So Shriti is saying the answer is E. Correct. So inflation, high price of real estate and better facilities being provided are the reasons of expensive education today. So this is the best answer. ठीक है, let's do one thing, right? एक का तो last question already दिया हुआ है, right? We will end the session here today, right? And as you have highlighted, we will try to organize more sessions related to Maharashtra CET, right? And we will continue discussing questions so that we do not run out of, so that you do not run out of any practice sessions. Good that you have mentioned it clearly here. Okay, so before we end, some information about the Maharashtra CET crash course, so you can attend it and see. These are the upcoming courses for July, and these are the people who take classes. You can see very clearly everybody is an expert in his or her own field. Everybody comes with extensive amount of knowledge and experience. And subscription plans are clearly divided into 2 slots, one targeting 2021 and one targeting 2022. Understandably, because 2022 people, it will be slightly slower, right? Approach will be more basic oriented, so depending on people's requirement. And one more thing, gradeup super subscription comes with free internet. So, and there is also this free live mega mock challenge CAP 2021 VARC, right? If you have enrolled, if you have not taken it, do it at the earliest. We'll tell you, it will give you a check. It will help you understand how well prepared you are as far as the exam is concerned. And with that, we come to the end of the session, so we will end it here, everybody. Thank you. I will see you again in the next session according to the schedule. So that's it for today. Thank you.